Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning to all students. Top our subject fundamental of management. Today the last chapter, chapter 10, management from Islamic perspective. Okay. Here is the learning outcomes that we already prepared for you. Then we'll go one by one for you to understand and to discuss further. Okay. Introduction. What is Islamic management is all about? Yeah, Islamic is a complete way of life. Yeah, and Allah guidance extend into all areas of life. So in Islam, everything is God's will. Yeah, anything is related to God's willing and God permits, even in management or everything. So the principle of Islam aim to establish a just society. In Islam, the principle what Allah need is to have a just society wherein everyone have responsibility and honestly. This is Islam is all about lah. Yeah. So the function of Islam is to allow people to become aware of the parameters of human behavior as individual, of the society. Yeah. For the sake of living in harmony and happiness in this transitory world and hereafter. What it means here, transitory world and hereafter. In Islam, the world we are living in just is a transit lah. TRANS, transit lah. You go to overseas, you transit at airport. You go to Singapore or you go to Indonesia at the airport, you transit from Singapore, you transit to Singapore to Indonesia, for example. So in this world is a transit. So when you talk about transit, it's a very short period that we are staying in this world. Which people always think that they're going to stay in the world forever. They never die maybe. That's the problem. So definition of Islamic management, ability to utilize material, human resources to achieve short and long-term goal. Whatever material Allah provided in this world, whatever resources that we can get, oil, tin, everything lah, that is provided by Allah in this world is for us to utilize it for our to achieve our short and long-term goal. So Islamic management perspective is practical ever since the era of Prophet Muhammad. So when is era of Prophet Muhammad? Well, in the Islamic calendar is about 450 years ago lah. Yeah. So this is already practiced during the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the last prophet, which is the last prophet. Before that, there is also Islamic management from the Prophet Adam time. Is already have the management. Allah has already teach how Prophet Adam to live in this transitory world, including all the prophets lah. But here we just trying to say that during Prophet Muhammad time is the complete way of Islamic management that Allah already teach Prophet Muhammad to teach we all human beings how actually to live in this transitory world. It also gives us detailed regulation on how to go about our economic lifestyle, which are both balanced and fair. We must be balanced and fair lah. You cannot cheat people, cannot swindle people. Yeah, there's no more fair again. This type of management follows the teaching of Islam by Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam directly, which is generated from Al-Quran and Sunnah. So how this Islamic management style happening is the Allah already teach Prophet Muhammad and is already written in the Al-Quran. Whatever the management style need to be done to be fair and just, to balance be fair and just, is all is teach by Allah to Prophet Muhammad and is already written in the Al-Quran. And Al-Sunnah mean those practiced by Prophet Muhammad. Al-Quran is what? The verses. Yeah, the Allah inform or pass the verses to teach Prophet Muhammad, and then Prophet Muhammad practice it. So when Prophet Muhammad practice the management style, we just talking about management style here, but he teach the the whole things how to live lah. But we talking about management style. So whatever Allah teach Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, and Prophet Muhammad practice it. So whatever Prophet Muhammad practice in the management style, so they call it al-sunnah lah. Sunnah. Whatever practiced by Prophet Muhammad, that is his sunnah lah. We call it sunnah, and that's what we have to follow in the Islamic management system. So, can you define Islamic management system? Discuss in the class. Okay, so this one objective that we teach you, principle of Islamic management. Time is too well invested, not to be wasted. In Al-Quran, the Surah Al-Asri, Allah already stated that human being like us always wasted time. And those wasted time are those people going to rugi, loss. Rugi lah. You waste your time, you rugi. You sleep, dreaming. Yeah, you can sleep. But in the management style, Allah prescribe how to sleep. Not more than 8 hours a day. But you sleep 16 hours a day, then you lost of time. Uphold and internalize the Islamic ethical value. So whatever Islamic ethical value that has been taught by Allah through Prophet Muhammad, we have to follow strictly. Yeah, that is the principle of Islamic management. For example, you don't shorthand when you do trading. This is talking about management. You don't cheat people. Yeah. If Prophet Muhammad's style of business is difficult for us to follow today, but if you can, it's good. If Prophet Muhammad buy a piece of, let's say, the time lah, a piece of wood lah, timber lah, a piece of wood timber at 10 ringgit. So how did he sell? So when he do trading, Prophet Muhammad is a trader. He used to do business before he become prophet. At the age of 40, he was doing business for a rich woman, which later become his wife, kan? Khadijah. Yeah. So if the way the Prophet Muhammad do business, even before he become prophet, if he buy a piece of timber 10 ringgit, so he went to sell it to the market. He said, look, I buy this timber at 10 ringgit. So it's up to you to buy from me. How much you want to buy from me? But definitely not less than 10 ringgit lah. So people sometimes will buy from him 11 ringgit or 12 ringgit, whatever. Yeah, not like us today. We buy a timber or piece of 10 ringgit, a wood. We'll go to the market, say, I'm selling you 15 ringgit. And then they start bargaining, 12, 13 or something like that. So that's how Prophet Muhammad doing his business lah. But nowadays, we don't do that way lah. We want do it, can. That should be the way lah. Should be no favoritism, bias and discrimination. So if anything happen, if you are a leader, if you are a judge, for example, there's a case from your relative, cannot be biased lah. Cannot be favoritism. You have your mother and father have 10 children. Also, they cannot favorite one children from another. Simple as that. Everybody, the parent must treat equal. Simple explanation lah, even to know. That goes to every other things that Islam have, as Islam or Muslim people have to follow. Employees must be paid fairly and equally. So definitely, if we employ people, must be fairly and equally paid according what we agreed lah. Not today you ask people to do something in your work. You agree to pay 10 ringgit. At the end of the day, after they finish to complete work, you just okay lah, I just pay you 8 ringgit. Cannot lah. As simple as that lah. It's not fair lah kan. In the morning you said agree with him 10 ringgit, evening you pay him 8 ringgit. That is not fair. That's what it means here. Al-Shura, consultation based on mutual discussion and cooperation among members. So in Islam, they always ask to have discussion together. So we practice now, very simple, we call it Ashura, meetings lah. Yeah, in office we have meeting, we consult each other, everything. So this is one of the main pillar of Islamic management, which we are doing. We are following the Islamic or non-Islamic management. Everybody is doing it. But in Islam, Ashura or meeting is a must. The moral religious value of work should be integrated in the work. So for example, moral religious value. Simple, I give you example lah. Simple way to understand. A lecturer here working for me, he's supposed to teach you 3 hours. He can teach you 2.5 hours, right? And he said, okay, class finish, you can go back or do things. That is not morally right. And that is very difficult for me as CEO to control every teacher way of teaching you. So if you start teaching you supposed to be 3 hours, 2.5 hours, 2 hours only, I can't be checking then totally, right? So morally that teacher does not do his work properly. That's again religious lah, again Islamic value and Islamic principle. It's totally wrong. So this is, I always remind my lecturer, you don't play around with this kind of moral values. Because at the end of the day, God, Allah will curse you, then you got sick, then you don't blame me. So when you don't do your work properly, sure you get whatever, Allah will get you back. You know what I mean, yeah? Then we call it, should be conducive reward for exceptional achievement to prevent valuation. So we always will give credit, we give extra bonus, or we give reward to those people who achieve exceptionally, do a good job, yeah, for the organization. So we practice also in our college, but this is one of pillar of Islamic management. Yeah. Then human nature and needs should be both considered simultaneously. So whatever our, for example, in our company lah, in our college lah, the needs and of the lecturers, the staff, as a boss, you have to consider seriously. We cannot give room for the lecturers, crowded room, let's say for lecturers. One room supposed to be for lecturers. Sitting down there, you put 8 lecturers. Simple as that lah. Then you're not concentrate. So that's what they mean. Okay. So characteristic of Islamic leader. Leadership refers to the process of moving people and plan direction by motivating them. The characteristics of Islamic leader are, so in Islam, the first thing, well, of course, if I want to take a lecturer or staff here, I must make sure he's faithful to Allah lah. He's not too faithful to Allah, then they start moonlighting. For example, just now I said moonlighting means supposed to teach you 3 hours, they teach you 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Because he's not afraid of Allah, he's not faithful to Allah. He start taking leave here. He go to, let's say my staff go to the bank, supposed to be 1 hour. He spend 3 hours in the bank there chatting with a friend. These are all people are not faithful to Allah. They're not afraid of Allah. For me, sure, they're not afraid. I cannot check them 24 hours. So in order to get people who don't play around with the job and do the job properly, we must choose those faithful to Allah. As we said they're faithful to Allah, that means Allah said, you do the work, although you cannot see me, Allah said, I can see you. So for example lah, in examination, if there's no invigilator, you start copying kan, copy sana, copy sini your exam, because you don't learn properly. But if the invigilator is in front there, can you copy? Cannot. So here, everything you do, Allah said, I'm the invigilator, but you cannot see me, I can see you. So if these people have that faith, then you're home, you can get the people working with you. They work by itself, no need to pantau or no need to monitor them. Global perceived goal of organization from a wider Islamic perspective, for sure. They must have a global perceived goal, not a narrow one. It must be wide lah. Yeah, that's what I think. So, and then adhere to Syarah Islamic manner. As I explained just now, the same thing for the faithful to Allah lah. Delegate with trust. So whatever they do, when delegate to them, we can trust them. If we don't trust them, then you know this is not characteristic of a Islamic leader. For example lah, we have leaders in Malaysia. They start stealing money, 1 MDB, all that kind of thing. You read lah in newspaper. I'm not bluffing you. That's what the court says. That's what the American court says. This kind of leader stealing money, public money from you and me. These people is no trust kan? That's what it means here. So is this Islamic leader? You discuss lah. If our former Prime Minister is Islamic leader, how do you choose them? Think lah, you're all young fella. We are going to leave this country to you. You don't go and choose this kind of not trusted leaders. Question, identify the Islamic leaders. Why don't you discuss whether our former Prime Minister Datuk Najib is an Islamic leader or not? Is a characteristic of Islamic leader or not? There's nothing wrong. In academic, we can discuss. We not slander and everything. We just discuss based on the information you get from the court, from the public, from the official one. Especially official one, those from the court lah. Then you can discuss lah. Nobody can bring into court. Najib also cannot bring into court. Don't worry. Because if you worry of that, then they will go and steal some more our money. Then you all become poorer and poorer. We all become poorer and poorer. Principle of Islamic leaders. Okay, Shura mean meeting lah, mutual consultation, managing through teamwork. Leaders are obligated to consult those others with knowledge. Important because, so same thing lah ya. Islamic leader, very important in Islamic leader, they have always meetings. They don't decide individually. So this is, we call it one of the principles of Islamic leader. They call it Shura. Shura is meeting lah. The actual meeting of Shura is mutual consultation or in the meetings lah. We meet. Okay, simple as that lah. Principle of Islamic leaders. Okay, that is Shura number 1, justice number 2. Leaders should deal with people just and fairly regardless of race, color and national origin. So as an Islam leader, for example in Malaysia lah, we have so many other races. We so many other religion. So as if Malaysia we have an Islamic leader, let's say lah our Prime Minister now is we consider Islamic leader. He need to be just to all the kind of people and to the races. Cannot say now our Prime Minister is Islam pula, Semal Zabri. He only have the Islamic people, not the other races, the other religion. Then you are not Islamic leader. You are Islam leader, but you are not an Islamic leader because you don't do justly and fairly to all the other race and other religion. Freedom of expression. Leaders are encouraged to provide and invite constructive criticism through two-way communication. As I said, in Islam, it's open. You can criticize constructively lah. You want to criticize, must constructively, must have facts and figure. You cannot slander. Jangan tuduh-tuduh tidak betul, then cannot lah. In Islam is totally wrong. Slander tak boleh. Masru'iyah, the concept of legality. Management must ensure that any action taken must be within legal boundary of man-made laws and syarah. Follow the laws lah. But here we follow the Islamic law lah. It's not cover the civil law. Qualification. Select personal base of quwwah, strength and amanah, trustworthy. So again, as I said just now earlier, can you consider Datuk Najib quwwah or not? Amanah or not? Based on ability, expertise, experience and other criteria. Plus other criteria. I just not say anything bad on Datuk Najib. I'm just asking you, is Datuk Najib can be this type of qualification Islamic leader or not? As a country, we call it Malaysia Islamic country. So reward, manager Managers fair in action and reward people accordingly. Reward is compensation earned not only today but till one dies. So like our country lah. They reward their government servant after retire. They give pension kan. They give pension until they die. Now they give also pension. If the husband die, the pension goes to the wife if the wife still living. If the wife working, dies, and then the pension goes to the husband. That's what Islamic way of management lah. Yeah. Of course, in the private sector we don't do that, but we pay a portion of their salary as to the EPF kan, Employer Provident Fund. So they have that money will take care of them after their retirement lah. Yeah. Government have pension. Public private sector we call it, we use the EPF, Employees Provident Fund kan. So identify principal Islamic leaders. Check lah, a few leaders in Malaysia. What do you think? What do you think? Discuss lah. Nothing wrong. Academic you can open discuss. Nobody going to sue in court. Okay. But don't talk outside lah. Just talk inside your class. No problem. Because you talk outside then become slender kan. Islamic Management function. We have the POLC. P is planning. Been practiced by Prophet Muhammad in many incidents. So same thing. Everything has to plan. Islam also do the same thing. Planning is practice which is prevalent in the era of Prophet Muhammad while preaching the faith of Islam the world, especially in the Quraysh tribe. Yeah. Islam practice planning process in terms of setting objective. Normal lah. Yeah. Same like the English one. Planning, organization, POLC also lah. Yeah. Human focus on two purpose, long-term objective, seek the worth of servant of Allah, avoid sins, prepare us to the reward paradise. So okay, Islam practice planning process in terms of setting objectives or goal. According to Islam, human being here, God says Khalifah. I mean kita ni, we ni God say that I send you as Khalifah in the world. Allah doesn't say human being. Human being means in English. In Islamic term, in Islamic way, you and me, Allah said Khalifah. Khalifah mean Allah representative. Very important, We are representative of Allah in this world. We're created by Allah to focus on the fulfillment of two purpose. So we are representative of Allah as Khalifah. Our name is Khalifah. What purpose? Two purpose. Yeah. Long-term objective, to seek to be worth servant of Allah. Avoid sin, prepare us to rewarded in paradise. Long-term objective, for you to do all the good thing in the world, to get rewarded in heaven lah, the next world. Short-term objective, yeah, to achieve productivity in the services or product, academic achievement, financial profit or improvement in performance. Short-term objective actually whatever you have to do in this world lah, because whatever you want to do must according to this achievement, financial profit thing, but for the world only lah. So that's what it means. Organizing comprise the structuring of organizing structure, utilization of resources, authority, power, delegation. So many organizing processes nowadays follow the type of organization structure since during Prophet Muhammad. Same like the English style organizing, it's only that we organize everything must follow the Sharia law. Itu sajalah. But the principle is the same lah. You learn management in English way, same thing lah. And then motivation, process of moving. By motivating. Islamic perspective define leading process of moving people through motivating them. So according to Islam, Islamic perspective defining leading as a process of moving people in direction through motivating them. According to Islam, a leader serves and helps others to get ahead. Same like we learn English English way, motivation lah. It's not much different. Yeah. Controlling, yeah, appreciation of procedure prescribed, organizing and plan, same like the English way of controlling. Also mean carrying out plan, ensuring that the result will conform to the actual plan. POLC lah, we learn management, you learn the management subject also, we follow the POLC kan, sama lah. Yeah. So in Islam, the basis for control may differ from conventional approach. Sorry, I was talking English actually conventional lah, we're talking about conventional approach lah. Yeah. So it's the same like PLC, the same like the conventional style. Yeah. It's only here the approach here compared to the conventional approach, the Islamic way approach. Mechanisms such as internal or external control, business or personal control, and social or legal control must not violate the basic principle of Sharia. Yeah? So whatever you want to do, in a conventional way, you don't bother whether it comply with the Sharia or not. Whether halal or haram, you don't bother. But here, everything you want to do must comply with the Sharia principle. That means everything must be halal. Anything you haram, you cannot do it in the add in your controlling process. That's what it means. So the difference between conventional and Islamic way, the management principle of POLC is more that is more towards Sharia compliance management. It's not, cannot be add anything that is haram or illegal. Yeah. Okay, in summary, learning outcomes, we already teach you Islamic management, its ability to utilize material and human resources to achieve short and long-term goal. I already clearly explained to you just now. Characteristic of Islamic leader, I already explained to you. Yeah. As I said to discuss with lecturer lah, whether Islamic leader like Dato Najib, Islamic leader or not. Our Prime Minister now, Islamic leader or not. Based on the characteristic we study lah. There's nothing wrong for you to discuss in the academic. You don't go and talk outside, then cannot lah. Then they will sue in court saying that slander them. But in the class, no problem, okay? But you must brave to talk all this out. If not, forever we going to be deprived of our rights. Principle of Islamic leader, okay, shura, I mean another word, meeting lah, simple as that. Conventional way we call it meeting, Islamic way we call shura. Don't get confused. If question ask you in a meeting, what is shura? Then you don't know what is the meaning. Actually it's a meeting lah, short. Justice, okay, for sure, everything in Islamic management must be just. If not just, then it's not Islamic management. Simple as that. Freedom, yeah, same thing. Masruah, qualification, and reward, all already explained just now. Islamic management function based on POLC, PLOC or PLC, same thing also lah. It's only said that it all must be in compliance with the Sharia rules. Yeah. So thank you very much. You will discuss further with the lecturer in the class. Okay.